Welcome to Mutilean News. On the evaluation of the U.S.A. 2024 presidential election. The 2024 U.S. presidential election between President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris is shaping up as a highly competitive and consequential race, with implications for both domestic and international policies. Economic issues. The economy remains a central issue for voters, with inflation, job growth, and income inequality as key areas of concern. Both candidates are focusing on distinct approaches. President Trump advocates for tax cuts and deregulation to stimulate economic growth, while Vice President Harris supports targeted government spending on infrastructure and green energy. Trade and protectionism. Both President Trump and Vice President Harris are likely to maintain some level of economic protectionism. President Trump emphasizes tariffs, while Vice President Harris would likely adopt a more multilateral approach. Foreign policy. Both candidates are expected to continue a competitive stance toward China, while Vice President Harris's approach is likely to emphasize coalition building with allies. President Trump, on the other hand, is more inclined toward direct economic confrontation. When it comes to Russia, President Trump has signaled he may reduce U.S. support for Ukraine, whereas Vice President Harris is committed to maintaining support, aligning with NATO allies. NATO and global alliances. President Trump's past criticisms of NATO could resurface if he is re-elected. Vice President Harris is likely to uphold NATO support, emphasizing security partnerships in Europe as central to U.S. foreign policy. Key swing states. The election is expected to be determined by a handful of battleground states, including Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, where both candidates hold narrow leads. According to recent polling, President Trump appears to have slight leads in some of these states, although the margins remain within the polling error, indicating an extremely tight race. Predictions currently lean slightly toward President Trump, who holds a narrow edge in electoral simulations, though Vice President Harris remains competitive in blue wall states like Michigan. Voter sentiment. Public sentiment on issues like immigration, climate change, and economic inequality will likely shape voter turnout and enthusiasm. President Trump's stance on reducing immigration and rolling back environmental regulations appeals to his base, while Vice President Harris's support for expanded immigration and renewable energy investments is aimed at mobilizing progressive and moderate voters. Ultimately, the 2024 election underscores a polarized political landscape, with each candidate offering starkly different visions for the future of U.S. governance. The outcome will have significant implications for the U.S. economy, global trade, military alliances, and domestic social policies, shaping the trajectory of the country for years to come.